Hey everyone, we're gonna get started here. One, thank you for joining us today and for showing interest in our RFP emergency heat program. We'll start off quickly with just introductions. My name is Alicia Loera. I'm a project manager with construction compliance team at DOH. With me here is
Dan Rico, Assistant Commissioner. I had to think my title for a minute. Assistant Commissioner at Department of Housing, Construction Compliance. Pass it on to Zaki. Unfortunately, Judith and Steph are not able to join us today, but they're part of the home ownership team. They're the ones that review all the applicants, the applications, and they deal mostly with the residents on the front end. They're the ones that basically get the jobs. And usually they're able to attend these meetings. This was kind of like a last minute for us to be in person, but usually they'll be here to introduce themselves. Mostly you won't be interacting with them too much unless there's a question or doubt of the application and information. For the most part, you'll be dealing directly with this team here, including Zaki.
Yeah.
Also, our deputy commissioner is Chris Smith, who is also not on the call. Whenever you're dealing with him, it's because something went bad. You don't want to be dealing with him. Or you did something really, really great, and he wants to congratulate you guys. But without further ado, let's kick it off with this RFP.
Yeah, do you want to do an introduction?
Oh, sure. Let's go with quick introductions. I want to meet the faces. So
Yeah, if you just want to tell us the company. Just your name and company.
Billy Cleveland, PWF Construction.
Jump that. All right, thanks, Billy. Let's start in here first, then we'll go on to the teams.
Torres reporting hands Inc. Cynthia Torres, Hills and Hammers Construction.
Ricky O'Neill with GWO Inc.
Marion Green, GWO.
Larry Jackson.
hey, pleasure to meet you guys.
Okay. Do you guys I know Billy, do you want to kick it off for everyone on teams?
Okay, Billy Cleveland from BWF Construction.
And everyone else, if you just kind of want to go.
I'm Louis with Elevate Energy.
Hi, this is Daniel Adon with Cortex Construction Group.
This is Wes Kahn with Alpha Chicago.
Ariel Lockley with Tiles Construction.
Hello.
This is Maria from Darden Construction.
Yeah, this is also Elvis from Darn Construction.
Irene Harris, Ryan CLC.
Darren Sibley with Narrow Construction Group.
Latanya Nelson with Nelson's Environmental Solutions.
Okay,
Michael
looks like
Wilings
that
with
was
Elevate.
Michael.
Trinice Swan with WTL Foundation One.
Sydney Howe with Cornerstone Construction.
Angela Parker, Ryan's Cleaning Services.
Okay, I think that was everyone. Again, thank you for joining us today. So today we're here to discuss our 2026 emergency heat program, which we're hoping to kick off January 1 of 2026. This quick agenda for this meeting. It's program overview, application process, construction obligation, and then some questions if you guys have any. To start, just kind of overview of the program. Basically, the way the program works is our homeownership team, who again is not here, they will vet the applications. They will vet the applications for us. Once the income approve the application, they'll send it over to our team, CAC team, construction compliance team. From that point, we'll send it off to you guys, to GC. So from us, you'll just receive an address, name of homeowner, and your RCS, and from there, you guys will coordinate to get the job done.
Pause. What's a RCS?
Residential
Rehab construction specialist.
Yeah, rehab construction specialist. They're our DOH employee. You could think of them as kind of our inspectors. So you'll have one assigned to you, and you'll always work with that one RCS. So from there, you have the address. You guys will go out, schedule a scope just to kind of review the job, see what's needed. Kind of agree to the scope of the work on site. From there, you guys will provide a price proposal to us via email and then eventually via our ECM software. There may be some back and forth, but eventually we'll land on a price, approve it, and you guys will get the go ahead to move forward with the job. From there, construction starts. We leave that up to you guys in your hands to kind of schedule it and do it at your pace. But these are emergency heat programs, so this homeowner most likely is staying without heat at that point. So I know we really like to service these homeowners as quickly as possible.
So I want to emphasize on the emergency heat program. Again, that's the title of this program. We understand there's certain situations where you can't act fast. We all can't act as fast as we want. There are certain parameters we put in place, such as temporary heating, maybe some electrical plug-in heaters for the meantime. Those can be moved around, but for the most part, we do expect quick action as best as you guys can to service the homeowners. As Lisa said, a lot of these homeowners don't have heat, and winter is right around the corner. When this program officially kicks off for you guys under contract, it'll be January 1st, 2026. So we're gonna be in prime cold season.
Yeah.
So whoever gets selected from this point on, or from the point you guys get selected, it's quick to mobilize. So figure out what you got to do, and etc. So I'll let Lisa continue.
Yeah, and then from there, once the job is done, you guys will notify us it's done. Our RCS will go out with you guys and the homeowner and just kind of like walk the job, kind of inspect everything, make sure everything's good. Everyone will need to sign off on it. DOH, you guys, the GC, and the homeowner will sign off on the job. Once it's done, we're good, and then you guys will submit a voucher for reimbursement. You guys are required to front fund everything for this job.
So yeah, you guys are required to front fund the job, so make sure you guys are able to do that. This is a city again. As much as I would want to, I would want you guys to get paid as soon as you finish the job. Unfortunately, that's not up to me or anybody above me. It's up to the city. So there is some time delays with payment. Our current home repair program on the best days was 3 weeks, I believe. Worst days has been a month or two. But again, that's not up to us. That's up to the finance crossover there at City Hall. Something that we're still working for. We advocate for improvement on that side. Mr. Mayor's also advocating for improvement on that. But again, that's a ship that's constantly moving that we got to steer a different way. With that said, the documents expected, warranties, lien waivers, etc. All that will be uploaded by you guys onto our enterprise case management software, which is basically just the file cabinet. And you guys will get training for that too. So
yeah. She had a question.
Sure. HVAC license. Well, whoever you'll be using needs to have an HVAC license. Yeah, somebody has to have the HVAC license. Correct.
How many RCS are working on that program?
How many rehab construction specialists are working on the program? In the past, we only had 2 or 4. This one, since it's winter season, I mean, right now we have 7 available.
Because I know that delayed the closeout when it was only 2 RCS.
Yes,
Delay the closeout.
that's correct. So we are trying to hire more people. Unfortunately, we just lost 1 staff member. So we're normally 8, but we're 7 right now, and we can maneuver as needed. Yes. 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 You want to move to the next? Yeah.
Can you repeat the questions that they ask in the room for everyone to hear, please?
Oh, I'm sorry. So one of the question was, how many rehab construction specialists will there be available to close out on the job? On staff, we have 7. Normally we have 8. So we'll try to maneuver people as needed, in order to speed up the process of closing out. Yeah. The other question was, for the temporary heaters, who's responsible for those? And I answered the GC.
Thank you.
We don't have one set in place, no, but it's safe to say that something that obviously won't start a fire. You know, it's kind of difficult to balance out, I'll be honest. Everybody's property is different. Everybody's electrical, some people haven't have upgrades, some people have the old 2-prong outlets. So all those things should be taken into consideration. So yeah.
With that said,
So the other question was about the HVAC license. If you are just a GC and not the HVAC contractor, whoever you contract must have a HVAC license. Ricky.
So I see this is from 2023. So obviously you have some data on what the scopes have been.
Correct.
Excuse me. Because the word emergency is in there, I assume that the scopes are generally replace boiler, replace furnace.
That is correct.
Okay.
Thank you for pointing that out. And we could get into further questions later on, but I'll answer your question and let's continue with the presentation. But yes, we do have typically we replace with in-kind. So if they have a furnace, we replace with the furnace. If they have a boiler, we'll replace with the boiler.
Whether it's steam or water.
Steam, water. If they have baseboard electrical heaters, that's all they have, we'll replace with that. Those are one-offs, kind of rarely ever see those, but we do see them. If for any reason you can't replace the water boiler, there's pipes broken everywhere, then we'll consider a furnace and ductwork. But again, all those discussions are had in the field with you guys and RCSs and the homeowner. Obviously, the homeowner needs to know, hey, ma'am or mister, we can't do the boiler because all your pipes are broken and it's very costly. Furnace and ductwork is costly too, but this is what we can provide.
80 to 90% of the time is replacing kind.
Yes. Okay. Correct.
Okay. Application process.
Yeah. So I mean, I'll go through this. The application process again is pretty simple. It opens up every November 1st. The homeownership team verifies that they meet AMI 80% is the requirement. Once they review all that and receive all the documents, they approve the applicant. And then after that, those applications are given to us. Pretty basic. It's not complicated on their end. Complication is obviously getting all the documents in place from homeowners. But you guys have nothing to do with this under this program. Our homeownership team will still handle all that. We just get these documents.
Yeah. yeah, as you said, this is just kind of our team will handle all this. This is just kind of a peek behind the curtain, just so you guys are aware of our application process. But compliance. So every GC would be required to meet our WB MBE goals of 26 and 6. Chicago hiring residency of 50%. Um,
This is HED. It's not required.
okay.
So just the top two sections, correct?
And prevailing wages.
Should go to 6% of the cost should go to W.
Okay. Is that clear enough for you guys?
Yep. We'll be
Okay.
able to get these forms.
I believe.
Yeah,
so,
we
yeah.
can.
I don't
We
know if it's
can-
just me, but I couldn't hear
No,
anything.
we can't hear
Yeah, we
anything that's
can't hear.
being said out when you guys talk outside of the
Oh,
teams. meeting.
Okay, I'll repeat. I'll repeat it all. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
And can you guys see the presentation?
Yes.
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 Okay. So she just basically, Zaki just basically repeated what's on the presentation. It's, you have to meet MBE, which is 26%.
And now you're gone if you're still talking. I'm sorry.
We cannot hear you, Alicio.
Hello, can you guys hear us?
Now we can. We don't
Yes,
hear
now.
anything.
Yes.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
we can't
sorry
see.
about that. We got disconnected for some reason. Give me 1 second to connect everything back. Okay. You guys see your screen here?
Yes.
Yes.
There it is.
Okay.
Is it on mute?
I don't think it hears.
Okay, guys, sorry about that. We had some technical issues here with the computer, but we're back on.
No, she's not.
Okay, so I don't know what part you guys got, but I was repeating the hiring Chicago residents at a rate of 50% all on-site hours. Strike the third column. We don't have to meet the HUD Section 3, but we do have to ensure that all trade employees are paid a prevailing wage. Illinois prevailing wage.
Yeah. And as far as WMBE requirements, we only accept Cook County certifications and City of Chicago certifications. Billy, I see you have your hand up.
You can just disregard it. Sorry about that.
Okay.
That's so I'm not going to go through all of it because it is a lot. What I'm going to say is please be descriptive. There are a lot of questions on this RFP. If you guys have filled out any of our previous RFPs, like home repair, then you're very familiar with it. Basically, the questions are regarding your organization, your team, who will be responsible. Again, be descriptive. Don't just put Joe Schmo and owner and that's it. I mean, if that's all you are as the owner and you can do it all, that's fine. But again, say if you are Joe Schmo, just the owner, put in there, what are your intentions as project manager, as lead, etc. Your hours. I don't know. Try to paint me the picture, or paint us the picture, because it's not just me reviewing these. It's a couple other team members. Explain to us what makes your team the team to be chosen. So that's organizational capacity. Again, explain what your team consists of, who works in your team, etc. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think a lot of it's the same.
Yeah.
Just questions. These are all questions that are in the RFP. Again, as Dan said, just be descriptive. I guess one red flag I will point out is we could definitely tell when someone uses AI, because we'll see a lot of the same answers from everyone.
Yeah.
So
I'll touch that one at the end. But for this part, also this program right now, we're looking to either get a solid team of one, or break it out with 3 or 5. Again, it's all dependent on funding. What I mean by that is 3 or 5 GCs. So 3 or 5 GCs would get the opportunity. It's all dependent on how you answer the questions, what's your capacity. We are looking for a minimum of 35 jobs that you can produce for the season. That's just the season from January 1st to technically December 31st. But again, that might change. For me, what I consist of a season is really November to March, even April. Sometimes it can still get cold. It still gets cold. Yes, per contract. So again, this structure of this program is a little different from prior years. We're trying to figure out how every GC performs individually. How every GC performs individually or delegate, and from there we're also using that as to restructure our finance, our budget. So, obviously the jobs that we knock out, if every GC knocks out 35 jobs quickly, we'll be able to obviously present that to the mayor and the board and get more funding. But currently, every year we have a set amount of money aside for this program, as is. We're just trying to stretch it out even more. Zach. Yes,
The
thank you.
question is, how many total jobs is the city wanting to complete?
So in past history, our data, I mean, this year alone, under our current delegate, we are surpassing a large number goal. This year will be over 180. That's a lot of jobs. In the past, with other contracts, we've seen over 140, 150. But again, I and me, Chris, everybody, we want to surpass those numbers. We want to be over 200. That's a lot of furnaces, a lot of boilers.
Is every GC only limited to the 35, or is that your minimum?
Well, that's what we're looking at right now as minimum for the beginning of the program. Like I said, it depends on all the responses we receive. If there's one that can really hit it out of the park and shows that they might be able to do 50, we can do a contract of 50. If they show they can do more, we'll do a contract of 100. But at minimum, we're looking at GCs that can hit 35 at minimum. Now let's say hypothetically we choose 3 or 4 at 35 minimum, and let's just say all 4 of you GCs knock it out 35 within a month. Let's just say that. Again, we'll have to present those results back to the budget, the finance team, and get an increase of funding. But we have to show the results, obviously.
So if you can, as much as you can, let us into your thinking. You mentioned that there could be a possibility that one person is awarded. There could be a possibility that multiple are awarded. What are those, I guess, decision-making frameworks, assuming that, a few people are qualified for the program?
Depends. So in the past we've used, I'm gonna be open. In the past we've used delegate agencies, and some of our our agencies are here. And they've done a great job with the program. At the same time, we also have our requirements to meet, and that's like increasing capacity on smaller GCs, and bring them up to a bigger position that they're normally in. This opportunity for them to get their foot in the door directly with the city, and really show what they can do. So that's really the balance we have to look at, right? We have to look at who applies to this and what kind of substance you give us, and convince us that, hey, maybe we can choose 3 or 4 or 5 versus one delegate, 2 delegates that have proven already. It's a difficult position, obviously, for us because we want to do it all. And maybe we can do it all, but we still have to, maybe we could do a little bit with this and a little bit with that. Hit out the park, and next year comes around the next budget. Well, this will be the budget for next year, but my point is we have to show results to the rest of the city departments, the rest of the city agencies, and really convince them that this is the approach we want to take now. And we're showing results where we're steady moving one agency, and we're also bringing up smaller organizations.
So just on the RFP, make sure we demonstrate as best we can to you guys that we are able to do it.
Correct.
Got it.
And on that note, as Alicia stated, we have received applications that have been fully typed on AI. I have a good eye for looking at AI and what comes out of that. Usually, I don't have to look for it because usually it's evident. The evidence is there. Please do not use AI. I mean, if you need substance for it, that's fine, but restructure your sentence. We'll be able to identify it. Just want to put it out there. Yeah.
How many delegates were chosen last year, and what was the budget for last year?
The budget for last year?
Yes, and how many delegates were chosen for last year as well?
So past years we only had one delegate for the last 3 years. That's just how the contract ran and extended. I believe the budget was around 2 mil, 2.5.
Thank you.
Okay.
So I have a question regarding your evaluation.
Yes.
So what things are you guys going to be using for the evaluation? Obviously, it's going to be multiple people bidding on this or responding to the request for proposal. So are there certain criteria or of the evaluation that will put one person before another person, like past experience with other city agencies or, government contracts or whatever? So is there like a certain evaluation criteria that you guys have? Is it based on a point system? Like, how are you guys evaluating the responses? Hello?
Can you guys hear us?
No, we couldn't. We hear you now.
Okay. Like I was saying, if you have proven results with other agencies, present that. Show us a spreadsheet. Show us what you worked on. That's all
Okay.
critical. If you have a HVAC license, that's a key point. If you have specific subs you've been working at with HVAC licenses, put them down and put down what jobs they worked on. Again, just give us substance. Don't just say, yes, I did work with so and so, and that's it. Give us substance.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'd kind of like reverse the question to you, is kind of say, I mean, showcase your company. Showcase your company. Tell us what you
Okay.
can do. Tell us why we should pick your company over the other ones. That's really where all this comes from.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ariel, would you
Thank
like
you.
to go ahead? I know you had a question.
Hi, yes, I put it in the chat as well. If you're a GC company, when do you want the HVAC contractor like provided? Do you want it in the submission or after the award?
Sorry, what you say?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Could you repeat that? What were you asking?
As far as the HVAC contractor, if you're a GC, are you looking for the GC to provide the contractor in the submission or after awarded?
In the submission, please.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Can we upload more than one?
Yes. You could. Zaki.
Hey, good afternoon. Can I ask a question?
So for example, question to describe your experience, but actually put like maybe the address that you worked on, like the specific situation. Describe it.
So Zaki was commenting, just giving you guys more substance, more help on the RFP. Again, put your experience, put examples of where you worked at. If you have a lead and mold abatement license or have a sub that does that, put them down, upload their information. Again, any licenses, certifications you guys have, present them, upload them, show them. There's different sections, but I think you could upload most of the stuff on like the
For
first.
licensing?
Yeah.
For
Organization.
licensing?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like, yeah. All these slides are just like this question.
Okay. So cost and budget. Again, obviously, this is all federal funding or city, local funding. We have to be sure that we're meeting cost constraints. We expect, because you are on the contract, be consistent with pricing. We probably will get like a pricing catalog and give you guys roundabout numbers of what you're looking at for cost. But again, we can read through the lines. If you're telling us a furnace is going to cost 20,000, that's a little too much, way too much, and that's not going to fly. Be just. Again, this is not just a service for the city for the homeowners. But this is also obviously for you guys to get in the door. It's obviously it's not a get rich scheme. It's not a get rich opportunity. Um, but it is something that will put food on your table and bring heat to others. So with that being said, there we do have historic data of cost that could go plus or minus, depending on the season, depending on tariffs and all that. We get it. But again, we want to build with you guys consistent pricing throughout the project, throughout the contract. What was that? 20%?
Gonna be a delivery fee.
Well, we call it delivery fee, but it's on average of between 18 to 20%.
And then what about the period, the equipment? We have to.
Well, there is no markup specifically. I mean, whatever's being marked up is being marked up by the vendor. The delivery fee is profit overhead and general conditions. So that's all embedded into that one lump sum. We just can't call it that. Internally, we have to call it project delivery fee. So yeah, that's where that would encompass majority of that. I mean, again, you're not gonna get rich for reselling equipment. You're buying that from distributor. Yeah, so there is no markup on it.
What do you mean?
Rephrase it. If you're purchasing the material. No, you guys have to purchase it. You have to front load. Correct. That's part of general conditions, profit and overhead.
Okay, that's the last.
Sorry, you have a question?
Yeah. Do we get an admin fee or admin? Anything?
No.
No, there is no admin fee. Obviously, we're always looking to improve the program. If there is any suggestion that can be thrown out there, if you see there's a need for admin fee, obviously bring it up in conversation and we might be able to introduce that. Obviously, we're still not under contract, so.
Yeah, but for this program, just the way the funding source is, we're just unable to pay for that, which is also we're unable to pay for profit and all that, which is why we call it a delivery fee. So it's just
right,
kind of some of the red tape of working with the cities.
For the safety, will that be billed into the estimate or proposal? Or do we just deliver them before and then we bill you later? How do you want us to do that?
That's a good question because again, these are emergency contracts, and at times, when you guys, let's say you get a call, I get a call from the alderman and said, "Hey, Ms. Smith is, suffering from extreme freezing temperatures." I get a call. You guys still haven't gone out there to scope it.
Right.
Sometimes we do go out there. I'm like, "Hey, Cynthia, go out there and install some temporary furnaces for them." Obviously, you have to put that in the budget, in the scope. But let's say we have to cancel that job. I mean, we'll still have to pay you for that. So.
So that is saying do not reclaim them if you don't get the job, but to reclaim them if you install them. Or to just build inside.
It will have to build. Yeah, it'll be yeah, right. Inside the bid, correct. No. And then so in the past we were collecting the furnaces. I'm not sure that the delegates you guys are leaving them in the units, but I prefer to not recollect them. You don't know what kind of conditions they've been run through. uh, Again, sometimes some houses have these weird boilers that you just you can't go buy off the rack. And now you have to order it 7 days, 14 days, I don't know. So that little temporary furnace has been working around the clock, 7, 14 days. Maybe the life of it is done, right? So you can't take it somewhere else and it's going to cause a fire. You don't want that. So we'd rather see new ones being installed temporary.
We have a question online. Ariel, do you want to ask your question?
Yes. So let's say the contractor runs into like lead or asbestos. Is that always considered under the contract, or is that like a case by case scenario?
I mean, that's part of your contract to really have that in your back pocket in case you need it, in case you have a contractor or you have the certifications and license to do it. Uh, it is case by case. There's situations where, you have to do a boiler and you have to remove some of the piping that's in the basement and the piping is covered with asbestos. You will have to remove it safely under the requirements that is needed, and obviously you can embed that into the proposal.
We limit it to the area of work, right?
But we do limit it to the area of work. That doesn't mean you can go around and remove all the asbestos or remove all the lead. Obviously, that would be
Right.
too much. So it's within the area of needed of service.
Okay. I have one more question, then I'm done.
Sure.
Um, I know you kind of talked about the hiring need. Is there a specific residency or local hiring um for the program beyond the city standards, like the 50% requirement?
Zaki says no. Zaki is the compliance expert.
Okay. Thank you.
But they had to live in the city of Chicago for that 50%.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions out there? Virtually?
Yeah, I had a
That's it?
question. So we're not
Yeah.
competing on price at all, right? There's no part of our proposal that we have to put any sort of adjustment factor or anything like that. It's solely on qualifications.
There is a section where you can upload a pricing list if you have one. That would definitely give you a better advantage because now you're showcasing, okay, I have an understanding of what it's going to cost, and this is what I suggest, my company suggests it's going to cost to get the people of Chicago service. This is what I believe. Obviously, again, we have to review it and based on our experience, compare it to apples. If your pricing is 25,000, you're way off the mark. I mean, averages depends if you're in the servicing somebody in the privately, we're public. Privately, furnaces can run, just the furnace can run 2,500, 3,000, depends on the BTUs. Plus installation, I don't know, you're looking under five, but that's uh privately, exactly. Man, I'm having a brain fart. Privately, but publicly, obviously, you have to take other things into consideration. You have to make sure that you're meeting MBE, WBE, prevailing wages. There's other factors you have to take into consideration. So obviously, the cost might be a little bit more than that. Uh, but if you have that list, you have that understanding uploaded.
So you're saying that would give us an advantage if we upload the pricing ahead of time?
Correct. I mean, it's again, we're still not in the contract phase. You're just showing us you have an idea or have an understanding or have a connection with the manufacturer, whatever it is. Show it to us.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
Apprentice.
Apprentice.
Yeah. What about working with apprentice? Can you utilize apprentice in this
Yeah.
program?
You can utilize them. So for apprentices,
Well, you
you should already that. No.
Can you hear me?
kind of speak up into this.
There was a question about apprentices. So you can use apprentices, but they need to be accepted by your senior program auditor, which will be me, Zakaria McKee. So you need their U.S. Department of Labor apprenticeship certificate and their wage determination that shows their reduced wages. So that needs to be uploaded into LCP Tracker and send an email to me. Tell me the name of the apprentice or apprentices you need approved with all the backup. And yes, you can use them for this program.
And I will say the quality of work will still be expected to be high. It's a apprentice or
Yes.
professional.
Yeah, I want to emphasize again. I said it 100 times. In other programs, you know, we're servicing. Most of the cases we're servicing senior residents. We're servicing. Really, it doesn't matter who we're servicing. We're serving the people of the city of Chicago. Take them as servicing your mother, your sister, your brother, your father, your grandma. That's how I always tell everybody in these programs that we run here. Take it as is, as we're servicing somebody of your own blood. There's no, don't cut no corners. Don't be sloppy. You know, again, we're providing a quality product. It represents you, represents us, represents the city. So,
Ms. Harris, you have a question?
Yeah, so if we're going to be evaluated and scored based off of the criterias of your organizational capacity, the proposed program, and uh, the other categories. So what is the points for each category? So for instance, is the organizational capacity work 25 points? So you guys have a certain set amount of points for each category that we're going to be evaluated or scored on?
there is a set amount of points. I don't have it at the top of my head, but there is. I would say, obviously, organization capacity is definitely a heavy front. Showing that you're able to do it is a big plus. Uh, you know, I think every category is important, but again, budget, organizational capacity. What was the other one?
Proposed budget.
Yeah, I mean, to me personally, those are the biggest ones. But as far as points, yeah, organizational capacity carries most of the points.
So do you have like a number you could throw out there? Is that worth 50 points of the proposal? Like,
I don't have that number top of my head. I don't recall.
okay, thank you.
Yeah, we can break that down. Sure, why not? Right, but yeah, exactly. Try to shoot for the 100.
Absolutely, but it'll be nice to know like what each category point system would be, so you know where you'll fall in the event you're chosen or not chosen. You'll still know where your shortcomings or whatever, you know where you are.
I got it. Thank you. Yep, we'll try to get you guys that information.
Thank you.
Yes. Yeah. So the water heater is mentioned on the RFP because we used to provide water heaters in the past. It's still something that we would love to do, but again, you know, the bread and butter is furnaces and boilers. As much as I would love to do water heaters again, it's looking a little bleak for this year or for next year. But again, we're taking a different approach. Obviously, this is different funding. In the past, we received what they call CDBG, which is direct funding from federal funding. This funding we're receiving is more of a breakdown from city funding.
Yeah.
So it's a little different. This is the first year we're using it as is. So that might play as a positive to next year. And by next year, if we boost our budget for next year or towards the end of next year, we might introduce water heaters.
Yeah, also as Dan kind of mentioned, for the most part, we try to replace like for like. So if you have a forced air furnace, we replace forced air furnace. But sometimes, as you mentioned, you're not able to find like the old boiler, etc. And that might change the configuration of where they're at. And as you know, typically near the furnace is hot water heater, etc. So depending on the new configuration, etc., that might have to get relocated, replaced, etc. So that's why we throw
But
stuff into the
yeah, I mean, it's still, we're still not fully focused on that yet. So, yes, Rachel.
Did they hear her?
Did you guys hear that question? Or one of our geez, people
Really?
present here, Rachel, was asking on the RFP. It mentions something about a maintenance agreement. That's still kind of if in the air, up in the air. It's still a new idea being introduced, but I'm thinking about at least 2 years. You know, first year, obviously, the homeowners getting to know the new system, and hopefully by the second year, you know, they learn enough of how to maintain it, and after that, it's hands off. They should be able to maintain it themselves, or somebody in their family can maintain it for them if they picked up something from the team members that do the maintenance. So it could be like a once a year tune up or once a year get it started for the season kind of deal.
And that expectation would be that
But-
pricing.
Correct. That'll be
or-
included in the proposal.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. So I'm not sure how that would look on your end. Again, if you guys present that when the RFP and say, hey, you know, for 2 years, my service would be, I don't know, I'm just throwing it out there, $150
Yeah.
a visit or something, a cleanup to, I don't know,
Clean.
and that'll be included. This with this cost, you know, just give us an idea. Because everybody's in different areas. That's okay, we get it. Some people might have higher costs, some people might have lower costs, but again, you know, show us that you have some idea.
And to be fair, it's getting
Yeah.
just out of curiosity, is the expectation that we include it in the pricing, and then at the time of service, we leave everything off but that last service fee, and then bill at that time when we come back out, or
No, it would obviously when you're, and that this is a tricky part for us. Obviously, we have to trust that you guys will be back 2 years later or whatever we decide on, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, that you guys will be back. So all that will be paid when you close the job. So let's say you close the job in December, everybody gives us the holy water, it runs beautifully, and everybody's happy, right? 2026 in December, you come back, you do the first tune up. 2027 December, you come back and do the tune up, but that's already paid for.
Ms. Harris, you have a question?
Yes, my question goes a little more in depth with the compensation structure. So let's say that you did complete it, that you have completed one or more jobs and you have received your final approval. You guys have it as the ECM approval voucher. So let's say you do receive that, all your documentation, your certified payrolls, everything submitted that's supposed to be submitted for your submission, but your project completion, does your payment still takes the 2 weeks to the 2 month, 3 weeks you said to the 2 month for it to be processed?
Right.
That's
So
that's the total. Go ahead.
yeah. So again, you know, let's say I'm gonna play the scene, right? Let's say you get application, we get application today. What are we? October 20th. Let's say we get the application today. You know, you call the RCS or the RCS calls you. We'll figure that out. Usually we let the guys and the team work it out. You know, you're gonna be working with the same RCS most for your contract, so you kind of build a relationship with them. So somebody coordinates it with the homeowner. Say, hey, I have your application. It appears you have issues with the furnace. We can be out there on Friday. You guys go out there on Friday. You both agree to the conditions, to what needs to be done. You take photos. Those photos are uploaded into ECM. You upload the proposal. You upload the scope. I'm sorry, let me backtrack. You're on site on Friday. You guys write a scope. You agree to the scope. Everybody goes home. You write a proposal, submit it as fast as you can. Our team receives it. So by now it could be Monday, right? Now we're next Monday. We approve it, and now you guys got to coordinate, mobilize on where you're going to get the equipment. Hopefully you already have somebody that has equipment and you could get it within 2-3 days. That'll be awesome. That'll be the max, honestly. But hypothetically, let's say you install it by next Wednesday, you complete it, RCS goes back out there, confirms, you take photos, you upload the photos, you upload the lien waiver, you upload the warranty, you upload all the necessary documents that will be directed that you'll need, and you submit the voucher for approval in ECM. Obviously, that kicks in once you upload all the documents. Either Alicio, myself, somebody else will see it. We'll have to approve it, and then it gets submitted. Well, you have to submit it into iSupplier. Will you submit these?
No, it'll be the new. I think I'd submit them.
So Alicio or somebody in our position would submit it to finance. At that point, finance would then release it, and that's where it's kind of tricky. It could be, now we're looking at November, right? Towards the end of Halloween. Now you're looking at November. Depending, again, it could be, ideally it's 2-3 weeks. With the city, it's always a question. But again, it's something we're always working on. You will get paid for it. That's all I say.
Thank you.
Just to answer a couple questions that are in the chat. Mike, yeah, we'll share the slide deck. I'll probably list it on the website, probably easier for everyone. To write out the last question, are the funds available? Yes, these funds are available, but if for any GC that's selected, you still have to go under the contracting process to kind of have those funds allocated to your contract.
Yeah, so the funds are already allocated for this program. Obviously, want to allocate a lot more funds, but it's all dependent on the performance. Just so you know, however you perform, and how much funds we have, if we complete all the funding, I think funding right now is what, 3 mil?
3 million.
3 million. So we complete the 3 million, and we're like middle of 2026. Obviously, we're going to need more funding for the end of 2026. And at that point, your contract can most likely get amended. That means you'll get more work, more money under your contract.
And Dan, if I'm hearing this correct, that's a function of how much work is actually completed, not how many applications are approved on the homeowner level.
Yes, yes and no.
Yes and no. The applications are always there. There's always a lot of applications. So those are always trickling in. They really never stop.
Yeah.
The funding is obviously allocated. The funding, if obviously everybody produces, or that one solid team produces and completes and uses up all the funding, which I think it's like 3 million. And we're barely, let's say you guys started in January, we're barely in March, and you guys just ran through it. You knocked it out the park. And now we still have, fourth quarter of 2026. We're going to need some money. So we go back with that information to finance team, to City Hall, say we're going to need more funding for this program to service all these people again, or more people, release them. Obviously, it's not that simple, but that's pretty much, a process. And then once that gets done, obviously, if you guys exceeded your contract, then it'll get amended.
Yeah, and kind of to elaborate on that a little bit, as Dan said, there's always applications for this program. And when we say, like, if you guys kill it, like, your guys' success is our success. Like, you guys would make our program look good and make us look good, And so we always say, for example, we have $3 million to spend on this program for this year. If for whatever reason we're only able to spend $1 million because our GCs aren't producing as we imagined, that doesn't really give us footing to go back to the mayor, to the commissioner, and say, give us more money for this program. Because they're going to say, we gave you 3, you were only able to spend 1 million. Why would I give you more money? Versus on the other hand, if we spend $3 million within the 2 months and we say, hey, we already spent this $3 million, service X amount of homeowners, and we have 1,000 more applications, give us more money to continue this program. That's why we say like your guys' success is dependent on us. So it's like, yes, there's applications, but also it's also dependent on your guys' success and performance, etc.
Thank you. Yep. And one last note, I know I mentioned amendment. So amendment is, let's say your contract's for the 1 year and you knock it out the park and now you need more funding. We need you to complete more jobs, then your contract is amended, meaning we change some of the language so you can do more work. But these contracts are generally for 1 year. Obviously, if you are top performer, then we renew your contract for another year, up to 3 years max. Yes.
Is there a process for change orders?
Process for change orders. Good question. So again, we're hoping that everything, when you guys go out there and assess, you make sure that everything's on paper. Obviously, there's some situations where you don't see everything. Let's say you're installing it and you run into some major issues, but you could take care of it on the spot. As I tell everybody, document it, document. Take a photo, not just one photo, take a couple photos, different angles. Call whoever is assigned to you, the RCS, and say, hey, I'm gonna throw a name, one of our guys named Dennis. Hey, Dennis, listen, man, I got this this gas pipe to the furnace is leaking. I gotta run I don't know, 5 feet of black pipe and etc. Here's a photo. I don't know. Shoot it to him, email it, text it, and here's how much it's gonna cost. Obviously, don't exaggerate on pricing. Be accurate. Be truthful. Most of those cases, it'll be approved because you got to do it like that. Other scenarios where you just negligently didn't see it, that's a major problem because now we're gonna see, hey, you missed this. How did you miss it? Now it's a big problem because the homeowner is gonna be upset. RCS is upset. Then I'll get upset. That's just the negative points on you guys, and that all works in favor or against you. So again, try to be as accurate as you can. I've been on walks in my past life where you're walking the property and the person's just not paying attention. Whoever you're walking with, like a sub, whoever, they're just walking the property. Maybe the property is beautiful and they're getting distracted. Again, you're there to do a job, focus on it, scope it, propose it, and get it done. That's it.
I have a question. Will there be an initial cost per contract based on not to exceed or no?
Yes, I mean it all will be dependent on how many qualified applicants apply. From there, we have to calculate who are we going to choose and how to split the funding. So there will be a cap. And again,
okay,
all this is looked at. Obviously, if I'm going to be real, we're not going to approve proposals that come in real high, sky high, because that's going to tell us that you don't know how to manage the project and you're going to blow over your own budget. So that's a negative.
Okay.
And we do look at all that. We do have meetings with you guys, and we will bring you to the office and discuss, hey, listen, you're not producing or your cost is too high, or we're getting a lot of complaints and it's not going to go well. That in the past, we have released teams for not producing. Teams have released themselves for not being capable. So again, expect to be successful.
Okay.
Other questions?
20%.
15 to 20%, yes.
Okay. It's not a flat fee.
It will be.
Flat 15.
Okay.
You're around there.
Okay. Any other questions on teams?
Yeah, I have one more question. Will we be doing any conversions like from gas to electric, or from electric to gas or anything like that? Or we'll just be doing what's needed at each home, as you say, it's different
Yeah.
issues for each one.
That's a great question. Unfortunately, we don't in this program we don't have a lot of room to be like to figure all that out. To be like, hey, we're gonna convert you to all electrical now. Again, these are emergency needs, so we have to replace with in kind. Just we do have another program that's called Green Homes that work on that, but uh, under this program, we just really don't have that luxury. It is a luxury because you do have to take time and assess and see what is needed. If the furnace is, I'm gonna throw an example, like a furnace, a high efficiency is 90%, but the homeowner has, I don't know, a really old dinosaur, it's not even 70% efficient. It still benefits them to get the 80, 85 efficiency. The 95 efficiency, obviously now you're looking into changing their windows, insulation, for them to really get the best out of that system. So that's why we always say within kind or something a little bit better.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. You guys,
Yes.
Louis dropped. Any more questions? No? Hopefully you guys got everything needed for this. Hopefully you guys knock it out the park with the RFPs. We are looking to select a good amount of our GCs. Again, we want to highlight talent, we want to highlight production, and we want to service the homeowners as best as we can. That's really the end goal, is always the homeowners.
Correct. Okay.
All right.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.